So today we are talking about this particular little tiny smart camera. Or maybe it's not even a smart camera. Maybe we could call it a dumb camera. This is the screen-free digital camera. It's a point-and-shoot camera, which I really think there's no screen on the back, which I really think is a thing that all families need. If you're a grown-up, you remember having these cameras that looks exactly like this. A point-and-shoot camera where you took it along and you had these 30 or so images in it. A film camera, analog camera, where is it, as in English, a one-time use camera you took along on trips, and then you took a photo, and you could only first see the photos when you developed the film, and you had some excitement to look forward to. Some of this is also here in these cameras, but that's not the main reason to buy it. I bought these two, as you can see, a pink and a brown, a pink and a green one for my son and my daughter. And we have also been using them too, me and my wife, when being on family holidays. See, our kids and your kids too, everyone in the future needs to be introduced to taking photos, because in a matter of time, at some point, they will have one of these along the way. They will have a camera phone in their pocket. But my kids at 7 and 9 years old don't have a phone yet. And I'm really trying to extend how long I can go before they get a phone, because I really think there's so much things negatively with the phone, the smartphones, the social media and so on, that we cannot control as when they get the phone. So I really think this is a good stepping stone for them to learn to take photos. Now, why do they need to learn to take photos? It's not because they need to be photographers or anything, but it's just need to learn how to get familiar with how to take photos. What do you take photos of? What is good, like, and maybe it's called etiquette or something else. When you're out and about, you don't just put your camera up in the face of someone you don't know. You don't take photos of people you don't know. And if you're on a vacation, then you don't take photos of other people you don't know in less clothes. Just let's say it about that. Maybe you are on a beach or at a pool or something. You don't take these photos, but that's something kids need to learn, something that we have picked up along the way, which is like these unspoken rules of how you behave yourself. And you see all the kids on social media who never learned this, and this is a problem. So that's one thing. Another thing is, I think I have a camera like this camera I'm filming from right now, which is a $3,500 camera, and also have an Osmo Action and so on. And this camera is about $75. I think maybe 60 on a discount, but that it doesn't really matter if it's 70 or $100, maybe in between that range. I'm not sponsored by anyone in this video, so if you could do me the favor of subscribing, you will help me a lot. Thank you. Now let's get back to the video. There's some magic in the point and shoot. You don't even, if you're looking into this, you can't even see exactly what you're looking at, because you're just looking through a glass right here, and it won't even reflect what you're actually looking at. But that's just like the old one-time use point and shoot cameras. Now, compare those one-time use point and shoot cameras. They had like 30 or so images. This has the capability of housing 1,000 images before you have to empty it. And just it's super easy, because in the bottom of it, I don't know if you can see it here, but in the bottom here there is just an USB-C outlet here. You charge via this, and you can transfer them to your PC or something else. There's also software from the producer, from the makers of the camera, where you can download one filter per the camera and then change it as every time. Like, you can only have one filter on at a time, but that's something you can test and try out and see if that's something that you want. Now, for the image quality, I know that many of you is going to be questioning the image quality. Of course, my iPhone 16 is much better, and of course my Sony camera for $3,000 is much better. But there's something about this camera, something that's hard to put your finger on. Something that feels more amateur, is more authentic, more like it's a photo that you can feel that it's they feel more innocent and much more like it's a family photo. I don't know how to explain this. On my example photos that I have here in the video, I don't have anything with people on it, maybe one with myself, but I don't have anything with my kids and my wife on it because they'd rather not be here on YouTube. But this is something that you can point your kids at, or they can point at you, and you don't feel that awkward big lens. Some don't like to be pointed at with a $3,000 camera, and some don't like to take photos all the time on their phone. It feels kind of awkward, and I always do this kind of awkward smile. I still do it no matter what when somebody's trying to take a photo of me, because I don't know how to have my face when a camera is pointing at me, which is weird because I have this all making videos all the time. Then there is this thing that when you have like the teenagers and grown-ups who have a phone and they take photos of it, then they are like looking at their phone afterwards, and they are not in the moment. Whereas if you bring this on a trip, on a restaurant, or anything else, if you're on a holiday, then it looks. People won't notice if you take photos with this camera, whereas if you go with a big camera, they will dodge and try not to be in photo. Where this is much more innocent, and it doesn't feel like people are leaving the conversation. Like if you have a phone and somebody starts looking at the phone, it feels like, okay, I can just talk to that person now because they are not listening now. But if they have this one, they can take a photo and they are still present. You are present when you have these. You are the presence. You are still in the moment when you use these.
Hi, it is Editing Simon here. I think I just need to say also that this camera company is actually a family-owned business, a family who designed this camera because they wanted something for their kids. There is a whole story behind this and why they did it. And I think that's something that also worth taking into account if you want to buy this. I think there's different versions of this type of camera, but especially the Camp Snap one is a family-owned business that only does this thing of creating this camera. And for me, it means something that when you buy this, you support a family business instead of just a bigger faceless corporation. Now, let's get back to the video again.
I do believe that it's getting more and more popular to like de-digitize your life. And even though these cameras are digital, they are still screen-free. So it's like you are de-digitizing it. And instead of going to analog, all the trouble with developing film and all the 30 photos on a film camera is expensive right now. So if you have an old film style camera, or you have one of these one-time use cameras with 30 images on it, two of these in here where I'm located, two of these one-time use cameras with 30 images, you have the same price as one of these cameras. It's a much better economy in buying one of these and then using and reusing them over and over. Now, of course, I have to be 100% realistic with you. The cameras are plastic. They are light and they feel low quality. They feel like they are made on a cheap factory in somewhere in China, where all of our tech products are made somewhere in China, but this feel like it's a very cheap product. But that's kind of the point. When you bring this, you are not afraid to. My son, this is my son's version, this one. He has lost it on the ground, on pavement, like 10 times. Nothing has happened to it. That's kind of the point here. You bring something like on your trip that you're not afraid to lose, and you're not afraid to use, for that matter. This camera that's filming me right now lives in my house, because it's so expensive that I don't like to bring it anywhere. And what's the point then to have it for photos? That's why I only use this for videos. You don't buy this and expecting a premium product. The features is that you have these filters, as I said, and on the back here, when I turn it on, I don't know if you can see it here, there is an indicator indicating on how many photos that's currently taken on the camera, and it indicates that it's on. And now I'm turning it off by holding down the same button. There's a built-in flash, either off, auto, or on. I always have it in auto, and this is in front. This is the flash going out here. The reason why you buy this, and the reason why I think this is something that everyone could benefit from, is that even though you don't have kids, then maybe you are in a friend group and you want to maybe go to parties, go to trips, go to camping. You do something together with them, and in my opinion, this keeps you there in the moment. And also, these photos, 10 times as nostalgically feeling as photos are on your phone. And you know what? You don't know how these look until the day you go home and look on the computer or somewhere else. So you take a lot of photos on your trip, and people can't even see, oh, how do I look? Or you don't have to spend time on this. And at some point, people won't ask anymore if you're maybe on a trip together. And you don't just go about and take some photos. And when you come home, half of the photos are unusable because this is a very shaky. The shutter speed on this is not very fast. But half of them is maybe okay. 10 or 20% of them is really good. And there is some feeling that I tried to describe it before, but I don't really know what the feeling is here, but they feel authentic. They feel like you were there. They feel nostalgic. And yes, they are not a good resolution. And yes, there is pixel errors, and there is pixelations, and there is shaky feeling, and you can't even do the right composition because you don't have the perfect viewfinder here. But is that important in taking photos? Is that important to have the perfect photo? Perfect photos can be taken with the phone. I think photos is more about creating memories and creating something that you can look back on, and something that you will look back on. When you go home and you open this, then you get to re-experience all of this when you pick and select your favorite photos from the trip. So my conclusion for this product is it gets my highest recommendation, 10 out of 10, but that it has nothing to do with the quality of the product, but more so to do with the feeling of the product. If you like this video, then YouTube thinks this one is the perfect one for you to watch next.